the light went on. I watched Wakanda and the light was just like,
Trigger warning. The following program contains material that could be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences, including depictions of childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and depression. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Jambo Radio. I am your host, Agatha Kabera, and welcome to Mind Matters. It's been a minute, guys. I missed you. But yeah, today I have my special guest, Langa.
Hi.
Hey, my love, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, we're so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I've been wanting you on this show forever. Like, eventually, we've got here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. Guys, today's topic is controlled society, social control. And yeah, I have the beautiful Langa here. And I'm going to let Langa actually introduce herself to you guys and tell us a little bit about herself and then her background. And yeah, we can get into the conversation.
Wow. I've never had to introduce myself before. So my name's Langa. I'm a social worker and I've worked with children, adults, and everybody really.
Yeah.
I'm also a nutrition and health specialist, like Agatha calls me. Yeah, really, that's
Yay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So guys, before we get into the conversation, please, we are live on Facebook, Jambo Radio Scotland, and also you can join in on the website www.jamboradio.co.uk. You can call in and join in our conversation on 075-4200-2891. Guys, we want you to join in this conversation. I'm so excited. And yeah, as I said, the topic today is social control. So I'm just going to give you a quick definition of what that is. Social control is the way that norms, rules, laws, structure of society regulate human behavior. Langa, would you say that's what it is?
Yeah, to a certain extent,
Yeah.
yes. I think it's not just about the laws, though.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's also within your circle,
Mm-hmm.
the culture you're in,
Mm-hmm.
and just who you expose yourself to, who has the ability to sort of control how you think. Sometimes we see it all the time within, children learn from their peers. There's no laws there. It's just sort of so it's also about who you associate with that has control over what you do.
Yeah.
So
My first question is, since this is all about social control and you really as, a human being and your behavior and all of that, would you say as a people that we are free?
No, I don't think we are free, but I also don't think it's the responsibility of the law or the government or anybody in a position of power to give us that freedom.
Okay.
I think it's within ourselves to sort of just find ourselves, have honest conversations with ourselves, and think about what it means to be free for you. Think about what freedom means for you.
Yeah.
We like to blame. I don't say we like to blame, but most of the time we put the blame on, who's running the country, who's giving us the ability to talk about A, B, and C, to do A, B, and C, but we're not actually thinking of how much we're limiting ourselves and how much control we have over ourselves. So I do think that it's the individual's responsibility to spark that freedom. And I understand there are certain things that we cannot, there are certain structures that we cannot break down that have been in place for, generations. But it's also our responsibility to find other ways in order for us to get to that place of freedom within our minds and within ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I would say, like, yes, as you said, your mind, you can definitely free your mind. But society-wise and the environment and everything else you're in. Me and my friend were on holiday recently, and like I wanted to stay longer than the 5 days, but she was like, no, it can only be that, because guess what, you have to come back, like the kids got school, you've got work and things like that. So there's not really that freedom to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want. You know, you just know you only have the weekend there.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that way, we're already controlled, no?
We are, there's control in the sense that there has to be a working manner in which we are, you know, living within society, a manageable manner and safe, and something that works, something that allows a structure to move forward, sort of like a pathway. But the control that we are talking about, or the control that society has on us, is little things like influences and what you choose to, you know, open your mind to, what you choose to expose yourself and your child and, you know, just your community to. So there'll always be things like the normal rules, like, you know, the structure of a school and school holidays and going to school, going to work, waking up in the morning, doing these things. But we need those in order for countries, in order for a group of people to function effectively. Otherwise, if everyone's doing their own thing, then
are we functioning though?
But we are, but it's not a healthy functioning. We are functioning, but it's not necessarily in a healthy manner, but it's also not unhealthy. It's just not what we want. So we talk about you talk about mental health all the time. So I'll give you an example. How there are, you know, people who are highly depressed, but are going every day to work, to school, they're doing the right thing. You know, those are functioning within that space. Then there are people who are still depressed, but they're in bed, that can't do anything. So it's about your ability to, you know, function in this or not function in this bubble that you're in. But as an individual, I personally think it's not anybody's responsibility to create that free space in your life, in your mind, but yours, you know?
Okay, I can,
because don't lean on the things you can't change, like the law, because you know, we don't have the resources, the ability, or, you know, the opportunities to go up to government and say, you know what, I don't like this, let's change the law to this and that. We don't have that. But what we do have control over is how we react to the way the laws are in place, how they've been put in place, is how we create a lifestyle for ourselves that allows us to access that space in our lives.
So how about if the law is influencing your day-to-day life and it's stopping you to function in your day-to-day life?
Give me an example.
So I would say us, black people,
right?
Especially us being here in the UK, you know, certain laws were not made for us, you know, which they definitely affect us, you know. If I, as a black person, go to jail, even just get a criminal record, and it's not something that's really major or big, this is something that's going to follow me for the rest of my life. Well, if it was my white counterpart, you know, it's not something that they will look into, you know, as much compared to me. So is that not control?
Well, here's the thing.
Because then they're kind of limiting me to even, I don't know, just be the best version of myself. Because, I mean, if I have this record and it's going to follow me everywhere.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But here's the thing. And without sounding controversial and without sounding insensitive, the truth is life is already unfair. Okay? You're going to... These are the laws that you can't change. Things like immigration, things like the government, things like that, you can't change. And unfortunately, when you have a record, when you commit a crime, part of the consequences of that crime mean that you are you are your freedom, part of the consequences mean that your freedom, even after you've served your time, will always be compromised.
But why is it only for this group and not the other? I mean, we're all a human race,
but
no?
that is not specifically for just black people. It's exacerbated in black culture because we are experiencing it and we are seeing it. But the truth is, we cannot change racism, we cannot change discrimination and equality towards certain things, but you as the individual, you have to have that honest conversation that I was talking about in the beginning, that listen, I have this record, this is what is going to happen, and because I know that this is what is going to happen, when it does happen, I am not oppressed by it. When it does happen, I'm resilient to it, I'm prepared for it, and I understand the implications of my crime mean that I'm going to meet racist people, I'm going to meet people who are not equal, not fair, and I'm also going to meet people who will give me a chance. Unfortunately, the ratio of it is really unbalanced. Because that's just life. But I have the ability to understand, take responsibility for my actions. And say, you know what? This is what has happened. I'm the one that committed this crime. I'm the one that went to jail. And we know as a people, we know that any person who's been to jail, whether they're white, black, or there's a stigma attached to that. And that is something that honest conversation you have with yourself has to, address.
Okay, with that stigma attached, it's just like, if I've done my time, I've come out and I've really tried to improve, but I just feel like the only way I can even make a living or just even provide for myself is to go back and do that crime. Because even just trying to better myself, I just find like the system is still very much against me.
I mean, the prison system and the prison sort of structure, especially in this country, is very questionable. It's not. It's supposed to be a rehabilitative service, but it isn't. But those are structures that sometimes are very hard to break, simply because the way a prison was created from the beginning was to sort of isolate the criminals and put them in a space away from. It's like they're treated like animals. So even in that space, they're not being rehabilitated. So even when they come out, the prison service hasn't done their job. And you can't take that, what they haven't done, what they haven't assisted the person in figuring out. So you can't take that and put it upon you and say this is because society as a whole. This is because you've just been failed by one system. But guess what? There's other things you can do. Guess what? There are other places you can go and start afresh from. And guess what? You have the ability to identify what is not working. And I always tell people this, that you don't always have to know what you want. As long as you know what you don't want. That's enough.
That's enough. You're right. I agree. You're right on that one. Like, there has to be some sense of accountability.
Exactly.
And you're not playing victim.
Exactly. And it spills over, it filters over to every other aspect of our lives. It's taking responsibility and understanding that we are not here to change people. We're not here to change how people think about us. Nor are we here to question it. We don't have that time anymore. We don't have the energy to constantly ask, why is this structure designed like this to, keep black people out, and why is this? No. I personally I don't have the energy to fight that fight anymore. And that's why I take it upon myself to not think of that. Look at other options. And if that doesn't work, I try something else. Because it becomes very toxic. You start thinking that you are a problem. You start thinking that the problem is you and the problem is this, but these things are not even there specifically just to
Yeah.
oppress you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a hard one though.
It is. It's definitely a hard
very
one.
hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really want to touch on is social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean...
I think I'm the only one on Instagram, the last person who doesn't have an unboxing video on Instagram. You know how they do the unboxing their designer bags and the Dior's and stuff?
Babe, I don't have one too. What the hell? Please, what is that?
It's they unbox the fancy.
Nah. It's not for me. Even if I got it, I would never put it there at Gucci. I'm all, for what? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you think social media has influenced us? Like when it comes to like social control, do you think they've used it against us to control us?
I think social media is a very good business that they've created.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a wonderful way to network and get people involved and engaged with each other from all around the world. And I think whoever has managed to utilize it to their fullest advantage and make a lot of money out of it has done great.
Yes.
But I think they've failed on is, again, the responsibility of yourself. So I feel like we use this narrative all the time that social media has really ruined people because, you know, they're all materialistic now and people are not in touch with themselves. But, you know, like, it's about taking responsibility
Of
again.
yourself.
I have a friend that went off social media. I won't mention his name, but he knows who he is. He went off Facebook. He went off Instagram. He went off everything.
Yeah.
And I said, why? And he was like, you know what? It's just the right thing for me to do.
Yeah.
See, that's the responsibility that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But if you allow yourself
to be
controlled
in.
and sucked in, because whatever is toxic, whatever is not working for you, you feel it in your gut.
100%.
You know, when you're scrolling down and you're looking and you're feeling a certain way that is not happy or just, you know, you feel it.
Yeah.
So you know what's healthy for you and what's not. And the way it's taken away the normal sort of like, you know, in person and engaging with each other.
Yes.
It's made people really self-conscious of their ability to talk to each other, to create normal working friendships and relationships and all these things. Yeah. But it's not... The problem is not Twitter. The problem is not Instagram. The problem is how much responsibility and how much power you give to the system to consume you. Yeah. You know, there are so many things that we see on social media that benefit our lives, that enrich our lives. But then there are also so many that we see that are very detrimental to our well-being. However, you need to choose what you're feeding your mind with. If you're feeding your mind with things on social media, like pages that are helping you learn more and become a better person, then why is it not a problem? Exactly. It becomes a problem when we're feeding ourselves with all these these really materialistic and very like, you know, non-substantial things. And then we blame, who do we blame? But you're the one who bought the phone. You're the one who created the account. You're the one who logs in and you followed that page.
I think because it's become such a norm, it's so easy to just be like, it's not because of me. Yeah. It's because if I don't have it, I feel like
you're not yourself.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't belong. Like, you know, there's something I'm missing. Yeah. You know, because let's be honest, every single person has a phone, every single person is on social media or something. So if, honestly, I don't know, because I've definitely, I do it at times where I take breaks off social media. Like, I'll just come off my Instagram or whatever, and I'll just probably have just like my charity pages and things like that. Yeah. And that's because I've consumed too much toxicity of it, and I just... I need a break.
I know.
But I think it's definitely really easy just to blame it on society and everybody, because you just feel like you just feel like the old person out if you're not on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because-
the thing is, it's easy to feel like that.
Yeah.
But it's really Western culture that social media thrives on, because we don't elevate other things, other social things, like, you know, going out for walks and just being normal, just spending time with family and things like that. And I had this conversation with my partner the other day, because he's just come back from Africa, and I said to him, you know, and he's come back such a changed person.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of those people
He's
that
so vibrant. He's like, you come back.
No, he's like, he's come back from Bali, the way he's so within, and the way
Really?
you know, like,
He's come back spiritual,
like on another level. But it's a good thing, because
so good.
it filters down to everybody around him, because now the value and the essence of what matters has really been sort of like highlighted. So little things that mattered don't really matter anymore. Like I said to him, you know, in Africa there's water shortages and stuff like that. I always use this example. You know, you use a bucket to heat up your water and stuff, but you're fine. But let 1 minute, let the shower pressure, you know, not be the way I want it. The minute I'm calling a plumber, what is this?
What is going on?
And these are the little stresses we put on ourselves without realizing, and we've got nobody else to blame. And I said to him, like, the way he is, just the way he's just peaceful now, because the little things that matter, the little things on social media that you see that matter and end up making us feel a certain way, they don't really matter elsewhere. But here, because of the way the structures are, it becomes a thing. And because of how big social media is used in every aspect of our lives, from work, we need it, but it's really just here. And I wish a lot of people would
think I disagree? You know what, like, maybe, like, if in, like, back home, if you're in more rural, like, village, whatever, fair enough, it's not. But now in the cities,
but it's not, they use it as a way of, like, entertainment. They use it because they are slay queens and all this culture that's there.
You're right, they do use it for entertainment.
Is how it makes them feel and how it makes you feel. You could do the same thing here and left feeling, oh no, really sad and depressed. They'll do it, but they are fine, because they've got other things that they feed their social factors on.
They still have the social.
They still have the family. They still have the outdoors. They still have all the.
But we don't have that.
They have the ability to tap into the gratitude of life. They have the ability to use whatever else is around there, and it's a choice. You're so
right. You're so right, because I was legit having this conversation with the cab driver, where I was like, you know what? I remember growing up here, and we used to be out. You'd go knock for your friends, like, oh, is thing coming out to play today? Our kids gonna get that? What is that?
I know.
What is that? They don't know. Come out to play. No. We are here on our devices, or we're watching TV or something. Like, I feel like it's not even a safe environment anymore as you as a parent. Before, like, we would go around the whole neighborhood, and our parents would probably not even know where we are for a good 2-3 hours, you know? But now there's...
But see, that's the control that I like, the some of the control that we cannot change. The way we are supposed to raise our children here is controlled. It's to manage, you know, it's to make sure, you know, children are kept in a bubble till they're at a certain age, then put in another bubble till they're a certain age. So
you're right.
It's that control factor that we can't change. But what you can change is what you tell your child, and how you raise your child, and how you let them realize that, listen, this is just a bubble that you're put in, so that you grow and thrive in a safe and healthy manner according to A, B, and C. But it's your responsibility as a parent to expose your child to different experiences, to expose your child to different emotions that will help them, that will separate them from being that, you know, controlled and, you know, you'll have the child.
I see, not like difficult though. Honestly, I can only imagine, like, you, let's say, if you're going to work, be either you're a single parent or even if you're in a household where it's both mom and dad, like, is it not difficult? Because honestly, if you're going to work, coming back and just thinking about having to clean, cook, play with the kids, do homework, do all of this, like...
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is, it's not a bad thing. Because it means you're doing everything with your child. But it's what you feed into your child. Kids' brains absorb everything. And how much you put into that little brain will show. I mean, I have 4 children. And each of them are so completely different to each other. So how I feed into their buckets is completely different. So I don't actually think there's anything wrong with the lifestyle of, you know, the European lifestyle of not having as much exposure to going out and playing with your friends and all these things. What I think as parents, you just need to let your child know that this is not the only thing. You know, have open-minded children, children who are able to grow up and have the ability to, you know, break down these societal structures that have been put in place to sort of make them feel like they're in this bubble forever. Have children that are strong and smart enough to say, you know what, I don't like this. It's not making me feel like in a positive way. So I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna do something. Have them open to other experiences, and it starts at a young age. Because you can't do it as a grown-up because that's all they'll have known. But at a young age, if you feed those little plants, if you plant different flowers in their little garden, just think of them like their brain is a big garden. You can't just have roses. You know, plant daffodils, plant this, you know, do a lot of things in the little garden. Then that way you have you know, the ability to sort of tap into different areas of their mental health and create a more happier
little human being. Yes, guys, I'm your host Agatha Kabera. Please, you can call in and join into the conversation. We want to hear from you. Call in on 075-4200-2891. You can also catch us live on the website www.jamboradio.co.uk and on Facebook, Jambo Radio Scotland. But yeah, like, honestly, I know me and you were talking the other day, and we were talking about how society is kind of coming to this point where they're going to start controlling our emotions. And I really want to tap into that.
Tap into it.
I really want to tap into it because I mean, I run a mental health charity, and yes, I 100% understand people like myself. I've went through mental health. You know, I was suicidal. I had depression and everything. But at the end of the day, like what you were saying, eventually you have to take accountability of yourself. You cannot remain in that mindset. And I'm not saying people don't go through mental health and you know, you're not clinically depressed or you know, but there's things like just like maybe stress or anxiety, and you really feed into that, and instead of kind of getting yourself out of it, you just be like, oh, you know what, I can't work, or I can't do this because, you know, this is how I feel and stuff. And then it gets dangerous, you know, because especially for our kids, you know, I keep seeing these little sketches online where they're showing 80 babies, 90 babies, and 2,000 babies. So they show the
2000s one a bit.
They show the 80 babies like they're willing to work and stuff. Then they show the 90 babies like they're willing to work, but they're kind of slacking a little bit. And then they show the 2,000 babies who are like, oh my God, you're affecting my mental health. Like, leave me. And I'm like, oh, is that what we're creating?
I don't know, Agatha. I don't know about that. I don't look at it like that. The thing is, 80s, I'm an 80s baby, and obviously we're very different from the 90s babies. Now we're extremely different from the 2000 babies, but this is what I have this conversation all the time with my sister, and the thing is, I actually think these 2000s are extremely smart. They just don't know how smart they are, because the problem is they don't have work ethic. See, they
do ask a lot of questions, don't they?
They're very inquisitive. They're very smart. They're very they're technical geniuses. They know so much.
Like, you know, this 2000 babies are out here being entrepreneurs at such a young age.
They work smart. They don't work hard. They work smart. They work smart. So the ones that I know, they're not about hard work, they're about smart work. You know. The thing is, there's this new culture of mental health issues that I don't like, because it's making this it's creating this narrative. I'll specify within the Black community, and I'm talking about myself, disclaimer, myself and just the people I know before people call in and just but it's creating this narrative that we are just an extremely sensitive race. It's creating this narrative that everything that goes wrong, even life happening the way it's supposed to happen, is a mental health issue. You're supposed to let life organically, evolve the way it's supposed to be. That includes experiencing, hurtful, hard times and experiencing good
That's
times.
Life's not fair.
Exactly. In the hard times, that is when you build skills and resilience and all these things that will help you get through them. In the good times is when we celebrate and all these things. But I always feel like this new mental health issues culture takes away people's ability to let life unfold the way it's supposed to be. And then we blame it on this. It's my mental health. I can't cope. It's my mental health. No, it's not. It's not your mental health. It's just life. It's just the way it's the way it is. We can't run away from, bills. We can't run away from all these things that affect us. So that affecting you is not a mental health issue. It's just a stage in your life that you're going through. But then there's this movement on mental health is this, mental health is that, and I get that they are mental health issues, depression, other conditions associated with mental health, and it's a broad thing. But I also don't want to sit here and pretend that there is no element of this culture that it's just easier to call it mental health issues when really it's not. It's just you not wanting to take accountability in that stage of your life, or it's just not, you're scared. I don't say you don't want to, you're just scared to face the reality of the stage you're going through in your life. And I feel like a lot of young Black people are using that as well as an escape to just rolling up their sleeves sometimes and just getting on with it. I can't get this job, I can't do this because of A, B, and C. But the truth of the matter is, for me anyway, I think mental health is just one of those things that has been, it's just now thrown around so much. It's really, and it's because it's one of those things that you can't put your finger on. So you can't say someone doesn't have mental health issues, but at the same time, you can't measure it. But at the same time, we need to be building stronger, resilient children that understand that not every bad thing that happens is mental health. And I suppose for me, it's also because of my background, where I come from. I come from a family of very strong people. My mother's a very strong woman. She's always emphasized the importance of just hard work. And my dad's always been like, you know what, you can do it. Don't think your mind, just it's all in your mind. Whatever you're going through is all in your mind. Don't give your mind the power, the ability to take over everything. Maybe that's why I'm like this. But I genuinely think there is a bit of a blame it on this culture.
Okay, I was gonna I agree and I disagree. Disagree. I agree and I disagree. Reason why is I just feel like when it comes to us as the Black community, we do have a lot of generational things that we've not dealt with that have moved with us from generation to generation. And when it comes to mental health, it's something that we're only beginning to address. It's not something that, you know, even our parents had, you know. I feel like this new generation, that maybe 80, 90 babies, 2000 babies are the ones that are open to this. So with that, would you really say that we are using it if like there's just certain things that we haven't really healed from, and also just even the system as a whole as well, you know, with the different difficulties that we have, us being stuck in survival mode, and
but the thing is, for me anyway, I just think when you talk about the things that we haven't healed from, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean things like slavery,
colonialism, or just even, you know, there's certain things that our parents have been through, who probably passed on to us, not consciously but unconsciously. We're now carrying also some of their pain, you know, probably that they might have taken from their parents, you know, because that's what I've seen, like working with the different communities and stuff. We have quite a lot of generational trauma.
Absolutely, and I agree that we do have generational trauma. But what I don't agree with is that it's not your responsibility to take on their load. You understand? So for example, if you're saying that you have issues that your parents maybe transferred over to you, they have issues that was transferred over to them, things like slavery that happened like generations and generations, what's that going to create is a pattern within your lineage that's just got issues. What you can do is decide that, listen, I can't change what's happened, because you can't. And you can't change how people treat you.
How many of us get to that conscious mind of where you really look at yourself in the mirror?
You know where you start? You start by not magnifying what has been done, and you magnify what you can do. You stop putting racism or the past on all these things that have happened. You stop putting it on a pedestal that it does not deserve to even be on. Okay, we talk about it because it's there, it's part of our history. But on that same level, the same platform, we talk about the pain and the slavery and all these things.
How about the parenting?
We also talk about the parenting. We talk about the potential that we have as a people. We talk about the abilities. We talk about the strength. We talk about everything that you can do despite all of that. We don't focus on what has happened. We move on from it. You don't focus on how it made you feel at the time, because then you're transferring that feeling onto your child, and then they'll transfer that feeling. But what you do magnify is what you can do now. We are in a position now where our children will never have to face, you know, slavery. There are other forms of slavery and things, and racism and stuff like that. But we have the ability to teach them the skills to deal with issues like this, so that we prevent another generation of kids saying, my child, you know, is like this because of what happened to them, you know. So I think sometimes we give racism and all the history and all the bad things that happened to us, we put too much focus on it, and we magnify too much of it without equally magnifying the things we can do.
It's because it's something that we're still experiencing. Like, you go to work and you experience it and it will trigger you, or, you know, you go shopping and you experience it and it will trigger you.
Well, yeah, but then you're also experiencing things right now that you wouldn't have experienced
that are
then.
positive.
Look
True.
at you right now. You've got your own radio station.
Yeah.
You're working. You're making moves. You've got your mental health charity. You're helping children. Despite all these things.
Yeah.
So we need to choose what platform we are magnifying and what. I'm not saying don't talk about it, because it's important. The truth has to always be told.
Yeah.
Despite who's telling it, it has to be told, as long as it's told correctly.
Yeah.
So don't feel like just because we're not talking about it a lot, we won't understand. No, we talk about it. This is what happened. This is what is also happening. And you will face this. But you know what? You can also do this, and that. You are great. You have the potential to do A, B, and C. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just about choosing what you want to sort of put up there.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it anyway.
You're right. Honestly, this conversation has been so good. So good. Guys, you know what I call it today? It's fine.
Call in.
Honestly, I've been telling you, please call in 075-4200-2891. But yeah, I want to talk about us. The Black, the Africans. I'm going back, not even just, yes, us in the diaspora, but us also back home. How, like, what do you think is going to help us to move away from being controlled? Because, ain't gonna lie, like, yes, slavery happened a long time ago. Colonialism, I mean, there's still some kind of colonialism, you know, but how do we move away from this and unite as a people, or just create a different world for our kids?
Well, it starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with how you look at the world. Your children will always just be like reflections of who you are. It starts with what you choose to, like I said, magnify, what you choose to create, what space you create around them, and how much exposure you give to them. School and education is only a small percentage of what our children know. You can literally take your child out of school and teach them a lot of things that, you know, a school would never teach them. Do not give the responsibility of somebody else to tell your child the narrative you want them to grow up around. Do not give somebody the responsibility of making your child feel like they cannot express themselves openly and honestly, because what that does is you're giving control over that child. So it's about educating them. Little things, they add up. So I think here in the diaspora, the biggest issue is the exposure and the resources. I think a lot of children here, a lot of families want to be able to, you know, be more involved and in touch, but because of the way the society is and the way the structures of work-life balances are, it makes it very hard to be, you know, fully involved. But where you can, even if it's just 1 hour of your day, teach them, watch what they're watching. Be very cautious of what they're watching, what they're feeding in their minds, and listen to your child. And if you see or if you feel something's not right, or that they're not being as, you know, free or open as you would like them to be, talk to them about it, or find a way to expose them to other cultures. I'm not saying take them back home. Even just taking them to a different city in this country will just expose them, opening their minds to different, teach them about the history of where they are, because it's always going to be part of their heritage. They've been born here. Scotland is part of their heritage too, and it's an important factor in their identity. So you need to learn how to incorporate that, and, you know, make them feel proud about where they are, who they're from, and respect the culture of, you know, where they're coming from. And I think that's where it starts. You know, it's one of those everyday life things.
That's so powerful, because honestly, like, it's not until today where I was like like straight away you always want like your little person to be like, I'm African, you know. And I think we definitely ignore the fact that, you know, they've been born here, and this is also
part of their heritage. It is, and we have to respect that.
Yeah,
we have to respect that. It's part of their identity, and we have to respect and understand that. And that's where I think the sensitivity surrounding race has to also sort of have we need to be very careful around that, because it can be very hard within their identity to identify as, you know, not fully African, and then experience racism. But it's also important to manage how much of it. If you're going to talk about it 100 times, also talk about the good things 100 times. Talk about the possibilities of their lives and how that cannot limit that.
You're so right. Because like I was just like, how I can only imagine, like I was obviously me coming from Africa and coming here at 9 years old, at least I already kind of had some identity. But I'm now thinking about my daughter who's kind of, you know, born here and stuff, and her identity is definitely Scottish. You understand?
It's that's what she knows.
That's what she knows.
And that's it. I mean, we have family that are like, you know, Scottish or English. I mean, my child's godmother is Scottish, and that's things about her life are going to filter onto my children. So it's a unified culture that they're growing up in, and we need to look at it as a positive factor. Don't just look at it as, you know what, they're still, you know, not quite, they're still black, or, you know, they're mixed or what. No, you have to understand that what we went through, what our parents went through is very different from what they're going through and what we exposed. So don't pull them back. Don't pull them back into that pain. Let them go and learn and be free and engage with people and, you know, but also, you know, protect them and say, you know what, but if this goes down, don't be scared to stick up for yourself, because because these things happen. So just help build that resilience to things like that.
That's so beautiful. But guys, you've
I can't believe nobody called.
Innit?
I'm gonna block all my friends.
They were scared. Everybody's been listening. I know we've been very informative. You've loved the convo, You've loved it.
How can they not call? And they've got they've got unlimited minutes.
Listen, you dare not call the last minute and I hear you dare not.
No, I know, I was called in. Can't believe it.
It's okay though. Honestly, like, I've loved this conversation with you. It's just been so educative, and also you've also opened up my own mind. But like, you know what, the thing that I've learned so much from you today is, you know what, it starts with you first. Like, I'm that, like, honestly, all this, even the charity, the mental health, everything, it came from me going to watch Wakanda. Guys, that's where it all started. The light went on. I watched Wakanda and the light was just like, I was just like, I want a revolution. I want an Africa. Like, that's what I want. Like, I was just, honestly, I came out of that movie and I was ready to die for my people. Let's just say that, you know. But I remember telling my friend was just like, Agatha, calm down. Like, you need to start small.
They've not even done a Black Panther 2 yet. Just calm down.
I was like, I am ready to take the world. Like, this is the, like, honestly. And she was like, calm down, start small. Like, what do you want to do? And like, remember her taking me to the library and just being like, okay, what is it exactly do you want to do? And it just started for me just telling my own personal story. Like, I didn't even know where I was going, but just me, I don't know, taking my power back from the pain that I had. You understand? Just acknowledging, like, okay, I've went through this hurt me, but I'm going to be a better version. I'm going to share my pain and I'm going to help other people so that they don't have to go through what I've been through, or, you know, they don't have to stay in their pain. And, you know, you can go through so much, but you can come out of it. As you said, it starts with you. And honestly, like, this is going to charm me forever, because I'm always just thinking, like, you know what, I need everybody, but you're right. Like, it could just be me being a good parent and, you know, making sure Peyton is going to be a better version. You understand?
Yeah.
It does. I don't have to go for the whole world.
Yeah. Well,
to
what
make
you
a
do by
difference.
doing that is just you stop this whole system that separates and makes anyone, she'll go there, she'll become the best version of herself with whoever she wants to be with, and it just cuts down this culture of, it's all about, race, but because it's just one of those things that become toxic sometimes and very triggering. It's important to learn and it's important to heal, but it's very, very important to have a thorough understanding of the impact it has, not just on yourself, on your child, and society as a whole.
Yeah, because it's definitely draining if you keep
it's very draining.
It's draining, especially if it's the change is not happening instantly.
Absolutely.
It can definitely be so draining. But yeah, guys, nobody has called in, but
I can't believe I'm going to about blocking them right now, actually.
Guys, I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank my beautiful Queen Langa girl. I hope you're gonna come back.
I would love to be back. Whenever you need me, just let me know and I will come right back. I love talking.
But we love having you. Yeah, and guys, by the way, we have a project that's coming up, and it's we're trying to tackle racism in school. So we're gonna be working with 10-year-olds up to 18-year-olds. So it's gonna be creative, but at the same time, it's giving a safe space to our children to feel open, to feel heard, and just to feel supported. So if you have any of your kids that have been affected by by racism in school, please do get in touch with us, Baba Yangu, or even Jambo Radio. You can get in touch with us on info@babayangu.org, or you can message us on our Instagram, Baba_Yangu_mental_health. We're going to put it down here so you guys can know. But yeah, please, we really want to help you guys, and just get in contact with us. And we're going to have the beautiful Langa. She's going to be one of our specialists that's going to be doing it with us. Of course, Jambo Radio as well. As I said, it's going to be a creative workshop. So we've got great things that are coming up for you guys. And we also have a barbecue coming up on the 11th of June. And we need businesses. If you have a business and you want to promote your business, we are going to be doing stalls. So we want you guys to get in contact with us again, so we can give you all the information. I'll keep telling you guys. But again, I want to thank my beautiful queen for coming and joining us in the convo. Guys, I always say, I want to know the topics that you want us to talk about. Get in contact with us. Mind Matters, Jambo Radio, or Baba Yangu. Let us know what you want us to tackle. And yeah, we'll catch you again next week, 5 p.m. We love you. Have a great evening. Actually, have a great long weekend, because no work until Tuesday. Hey. And the kids are off. Yay.
No school run.
Sleeping. But yeah, have a great long weekend and catch you next week, Friday. Bye.